When the supply curve is more elastic than demand, the greater fraction of the burden of taxation is borne by the consumer. All right, so we're going to need to illustrate this anyway, so we'll draw our demand and supply curve. So supply is more elastic than demand, so we'll emphasize this with an inelastic demand curve and a relatively elastic supply curve, equilibrium quantity, and there's our equilibrium price. And the burden of taxation, it doesn't say what kind of taxation it is, but we know that it doesn't matter. So we'll have a tax on production. So this is our after-tax supply curve, our new equilibrium quantity. This is the top price. This is the price that the buyers pay, and our bottom price is the price that the sellers pay. And as we can see, the distance between the original price and the buyer's price is much larger than the distance between the original price and the seller's pay, and so the greater burden is borne by the consumer, so this is true. When marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, a profit maximizing firm should increase its output. We know that marginal revenue is the extra revenue that a firm gets from producing one extra unit, and marginal cost is the extra cost a firm incurs by producing one more unit. And so as long as the marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, then the firm can increase its profit by increasing its output. So this is true. The welfare loss from monopoly is not really a loss to society as a whole, since it represents a transfer from consumers to producers. So let's just look at this graphically. And we have a demand curve, and the monopolist has a marginal revenue curve underneath that demand curve and a marginal cost curve. And if this was a competitive market, then this marginal cost curve would be the competitive firm's supply curve. And so the competitive quantity would be QC, the competitive price would be PC. Now for the monopolist maximizes its profit where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. So that quantity is here. The monopolist goes up to the demand curve, and this is the monopolist price. Consumer surplus is the bonus that consumers get because they're willing to pay more than they have to. It's the area under the demand curve, but above price. Producer surplus is the bonus that producers get because they're willing to sell for less than they have to. It is the area above the supply curve or marginal cost curve, but below price. And so we can see that there is a transfer from consumers to producers, but we also know that there is this welfare triangle. And so the welfare triangle does represent a loss to society. So this is false.